Good morning, afternoon, evening, or night time, wherever and whenever you may be watching this. Thanks for clicking. Today, going to be talking about one of the newer offerings from Dua Fragrances, and that is Drowning in Vanilla. So yeah, guys, as I mentioned, Drowning in Vanilla is one of the newer offerings from Dua Fragrances. I think it came out, what are we now, the start of April. I know the days are all getting muddled with the lockdowns and quarantine staying in your houses, but I think it came out last month at some point. And this isn't one of their own creations. This is an expired expression, meaning it's kind of a clone of a fragrance called Annie by the house Nishane. Some people say Nishane. That fragrance is pricey. I know a few people have said before, when it comes to clone fragrances, price per mil, is it worth getting the clone, is it worth in this case, it is. As to my knowledge, the Nishane fragrance goes for about £200 for 50 mil, and I picked this up for like £40, 40 UK pound in a sale for 30 mil straight to parfum, which should mean that it should last longer, but we'll get onto that soon. The very last little thing I want to mention about Dua Fragrances, and this bottle in particular, before I get into the review, is their customer service. I feel the need to mention this because I see a lot of people posting a lot of stuff on Facebook. I think their service is great. They sent me, I ordered a bottle, it come through, there was an issue with it. I contacted Massam Raza, the director of the company, and before I knew it, he was saying that a new bottle would be on its way, and sure enough, I got this in the mail. Thanks very much indeed. Customer service, A+. Without further ado, let's get into the scent itself. So I will say that I've never smelled Nishane fragrance. It's a bit too pricey, a bit too rich for my taste. But I've heard good things about it, I've seen reviews on it, so I think I've got a good idea of what Drowning in Vanilla should be going for. And based on everything that I've seen, everything I've read and whatnot, I think this hits the mark. I think this is, very close to what Nishane does with their fragrance. It opens with, I know the top notes in this, you've got bergamot, green notes listed, and blue ginger as well, which is new to me. I don't think I've come across blue ginger before. Which, if you look at just those three, if you look at bergamot, green notes, and blue ginger, and I think there's pink peppercorn, my mind would automatically go to like a sporty fragrance. I don't get that from this. I think the vanilla, which is in the base notes, maybe the mid, maybe the base notes, the vanilla just envelops this whole scent. It doesn't lean in a sporty sort of way. Don't get me wrong, those fresh notes are definitely at the top, but the vanilla is just surrounding everything. What I will say, Drowning in Vanilla is one of those fragrances where don't judge it straight on first impressions. Not saying that it's a bad first impression, but it is one of those fragrances that changes, like it properly changes. There's certain fragrances, and there's nothing wrong with these, where they smell, after an hour, they smell exactly the same as the first spray. To me, this doesn't. This changes dramatically after sort of the half an hour, maybe working on towards an hour mark, because those top notes, the bergamot, the pink pepper, all of those opening notes just die down, and then the vanilla, the sandalwood, I think there's benzoin in there as well, but it's not like it's not a deep resinous benzoin. But yeah, that sandalwood and vanilla just gives this unreal, creamy, slightly powdery. I know there's musks in the bottom of this fragrance, so it is slightly, but it's by no means a powder bomb. It just gives off, I guess, like a vanilla dusting, like a frosted, like a cake. It's just cakey vanilla all through and through. There is also blackcurrant and cardamom listed in this fragrance. Sometimes cardamom can give off quite a strong vibe to it. I don't get that with this. I think it just slightly adds on to that sort of culinary, gourmand, sweet vibe. It's by no means like a spicy fragrance. I don't get spice. It's just a sweet, sweet vanilla going on. It doesn't, it's hard to explain. It doesn't smell super synthetic. Like I know when some people think of vanilla and a super strong vanilla fragrance, they may think it's just going to be a synthetic mess. This, it's hard to describe it other than cake vanilla, just like you would get, like I said, icing or frosting and things like that. It's just so strong of vanilla. Talking about the longevity, projection, sillage of this fragrance, this is for me a beast. Funny enough, I sprayed it just to have a little test of it. I sprayed it yesterday. I'd say there's still an essence there. I've had 2 showers since I put this on. I'd say there's just a touch of it still there, which is amazing considering. But yeah, if you spray this on, I would say 1 2 sprays maximum, especially now that it's getting a bit warmer outside. On that note, I think it'll work best in cooler weather. I definitely think it's going to be better for, autumn, winter, things like that. But at the same time, one spray, because of the bergamot and there's cedarwood in there as well, I don't think you're going to choke anybody out in slightly warmer weather. But that being said, perhaps better for the cooler months. Lastly, just to talk about people's reactions with this one, I have had a few people smell it. I'm a postal worker. I'm classed as a key worker, so I've got to be around people, folks. But yeah, this, people like it. It's a mass appealing. It's a sweet vanilla. Unless you get somebody who doesn't like vanilla, then obviously a fragrance called Drowning in Vanilla probably isn't going to do wonders for them. But most people like this. I think if you spray one on the back of your hand, people are going to smell it around you. Like I said, especially if it's just one on the back of your hand, it's not going to be too overbearing at that point. As I said at the start of the video, the one thing I would say about this one is don't judge it on first sniff, because it changes quite a lot. It takes like half an hour for the vanilla to just reign supreme in this fragrance. You may spray it first and think, this isn't as vanilla-y, this isn't as sweet, this isn't as gourmand as I was thinking. You give it half hour and you will be drowning in vanilla. And there we are, guys and girls. That's my review for Dua Fragrances Drowning in Vanilla. I personally think it's a knockout. If you've had the pleasure of smelling it, let me know in the comments below what you think. Thanks for watching. Peace.